Rolling with Feeling Good. Today's question is, can you have what you want? And so it depends. It depends on what you believe, and it depends on where you're coming from. And what I mean by that is if your history in your life has led you to believe that you can't have what you want, you'll activate a part of your brain that's very fear focused. And your brain has a lot of activity and a lot of thoughts. And so if you really believe that you can't have what you want, you can imagine the thoughts that creep up in your mind. You can be angry at other people because you don't have what you want, the situation. You can feel like a victim. You could feel like the prey in the situation. And so if you really don't believe that you can have what you want because of your history around this subject, then your brain will try to convince you that that's true. And when your brain is running all those fear thoughts, the feeling in your body isn't really a good one. And so what happens if you really do believe you can have what you want? What if the circumstances in your life have led you to believe that when you want something, you pretty much can figure out how to get it or learn to want something else? And so when you activate that part of your brain, it's more of a creative part. It's optimistic. It has access to all the emotions. It's imaginative. It likes colors and pictures. And it can kind of create anything. So you can have really big brainstorm ideas. You can want little things or big things. So can you have what you want? It depends on what you believe, and it depends on where you come from, right? Are you coming from a place where your history in your life has led you believe that you can have it or you can't have it? So we have something in the brain that's like automatic programming. So your brain has learned your life, especially in your childhood, what's possible for you and what's really not possible for you. And a lot of it's really fiction. It's just based on, the way our family was, or maybe the community or the society or the culture that we were raised in. But really, as adults, we have a lot of choices, and we can recreate what's possible for ourselves in this moment now. So if your history has your brain automatically programmed to believe you can't have what you want, you'll activate the fear part of your brain as an automatic program. It's not like you think about it and decide to be negative about it. You're just there. And it's the same thing about the positive part of the brain. Okay, so if you find yourself stuck and you can't get what you want, you know that you've activated that brain that you really don't want to use. So it could be a really big thing. Like you could be stuck in a job that you really, really don't like, or a relationship that's just really not working, but you have no way to conceptualize how to change it, how to shift it, or how to make it better. So I want to tell you a story about me and plants, right? Plants. So I've had a really bad relationship with plants for a really long time. So it's kind of funny, but it really bothered me because I love plants and flowers, and I love living things in my environment. And when I go to restaurants and hotels and friends' houses that have lots of plants, it makes me feel really nurtured and happy, and I love it. But in my own space, my experience is that they die. Somehow I forget to water them, or I overwater them, and it always seems like I spend money on these beautiful plants, or someone gives me something lovely and I manage to kill it. Okay, so my history around growing healthy, beautiful plants is really not good. And so I've been in the back of my brain for a long time about that, saying, you're just not good with plants. I'm just going to have plastic plants, which I really, really dislike. So I tell myself, look, you're really stuck in that fear brain around plants. What would I be doing, thinking, feeling if I was in the creative part of my brain? I'd be saying, maybe I should Google what are the easiest plants to grow, how to grow them, how to water them, what to do. And what if I just got one plant and tried to help it live? So I did that. And this is one of my first plants here, which looks very healthy and green. I love it. And it's just a very simple plant, easy to take care of. But I've also created all kind of wonderful plants in my home, and I just redid the plants in the front of my office at Healing Works, which I really love it. And so it really can be that easy to catch yourself and say, man, I'm really stuck in this place where I don't think I can have what I want. And I'm creating all these beliefs about myself that really aren't necessarily true. What would I be thinking and feeling if I activated a more creative part of my brain? And so to activate the front of your brain, what would you do? So you can look at pictures of what you want. You can do research online. You could make lists, vision boards. You could talk about it with your friends and get ideas. One of the things that happened to me, which is really interesting, is during this time when I had activated my frontal cortex about I want to have a better relationship with plants, a girlfriend of mine went out of town for 5 weeks and asked me to water her orchids. And so I thought, okay, this is an opportunity. So I did water her orchids and they did just fine. Anyway, shortly after that, I was gifted with 3 beautiful orchids from another friend of mine that's leaving town. And so that just kind of manifested in my space. And that's what I'm talking about. When you activate the front of your brain, it's like everything shifts around and you can move forward and you can have what you want. So if you catch yourself in a negative place, ask yourself, what would I be doing and feeling and thinking if I was in a more creative part of my brain? And when you get busy creating what you want, all those negative voices seem to quiet down in the back of the mind. Instead of really controlling and limiting you. So remember, when you change your thoughts, you change your brain. And when you change your brain, you change your life. You can have what you want. I'm Stacey Dolan with Feeling Good. Until next time.